Hello, everyone, and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Collection Mania Monday, and we're going to take a closer look at the Cool Bank 72 count colored pencils that I received and I purchased way back when they first came out. I have purchased the larger set as well, and I found I didn't like them very much. I found a lot of problems with them. And so those ones I did send back. But I really do enjoy this 72 count Cool Bank colored pencils. Now, they don't have any sort of markings on them whatsoever. I actually had to write the number on the pencil. And the newer pencils, of course, have the markings on them for you. So you won't have to write everything on it like I have. Let's take a look at the color swatch. So as you can see, I've got them arranged in color order, the best of my ability to do so. I don't remember if they came in this color order or not, but like I said, I have them all arranged in my pencil bags in that color order. Tomorrow, we're going to actually explore pencil bags a little bit and give you some more information on the pencil bags that I use, because I've been asked by a few different people about my bags. So I will explore those with you tomorrow. But with the Cool Banks, of course, there's white, and then there's a creamy color, and then the yellows into the pinks. Yeah, I arranged these. I can tell by the fact that this pink should be down here. So, into the reds, greens, into the purples, blues. Also this one should be up here, so I can definitely tell that I arranged these. I arranged them visually by what the look of the barrel is. So, just by the paint on the end of the pencil here. But, you do your best, and hopefully you get it right. And if not, well, you can always either just do it again or live with it. I chose to live with it. So let's take a close look at these. I did find that there are quite a few that aren't quite centered, not to a point where it's going to cause a problem. And there are quite a few where you can see the seam go in. I'm going to switch on over to the other camera here, and I'm going to flip on this light for you so you can see a little bit better. So as you can see the seam there. The color has bled a little bit, and I find that with a lot of different pencils, with purples especially, that the red of the purple seems to bleed into the wood a little bit. Not a big deal, not a huge deal breaker. And I don't know why it's just the purples that do that, because the reds don't do that. Here's one of the reds, and it's still red. But as you can see, there's a higher wood there than here. So that tells me that the barrel is, the core is off center. It's not centered all the way. Of course, these are another one of those pencils that does have the ends coated. So I can't look at the end of the pencil and see whether or not that is centered or not. All right, so since we're over on this camera already, of course, we did the Color Dictionary edition last week, and the week before was the Saison liquid and liquid pearls. Down here on the bottom, I used the liquid pearls. And the square brute funers, the brute funers, these I was testing out. I got them in my sketch box, and I was testing out the Karen markers out of the sketch box. The Castle Art Studios did really well. I really enjoy this picture. I think it's very, very pretty. And of course, we've got the Brunzeel, the Blick Studios, the Black Widows. The Art and Fly did really well as well. Art and Fly is another company that is an oil-based pencil. They're very pretty. The Artezas, of course, did beautifully. And the Amazon Basics surprised me and did absolutely fantastic as well. I really like the Amazon Basics. You know, they are a no brand name type pencil, and they just seem to work really well. So today we're going to color this wonderful little one here with the Cool Bank colored pencils. But first, I'm going to throw something at y'all. I'm going to go into my wonderful pile of books here. And as you all know, Christine Caron came out with, and she is one of my absolutely favorite artists. She came out with this beautiful, beautiful book recently, the Fairy and Fantasy 2 grayscale coloring book. She also has a line art coloring book. I just reviewed this book recently and did a flip through. Well, because I really enjoy these books, I bought 2. And I think we're going to have a giveaway. So I'm going to color this picture today, and at the end of the video, I'm going to ask you a question or some questions about the coloring of this wonderful little picture, and ask you to answer those in the comments section. I will then put a number next to your name if, of course, you got it correct, or watched all the way to the end and actually got the information that you needed to get. And at the end of the week, on Friday, during Friday's fun stuff, we will pick a name. So just throwing that out there, keep watching because you will have to answer some questions on what we're doing here today. All right, so the first thing I'm going to use, and of course I am going to sharpen these, so I do need my sharpener, just to show you how good of a point it'll hold and to show you how well they sharpen and don't break. I, of course, am using this Dahl 133. And it does sharpen to a beautiful point. The wood isn't chipped or cracking or pitting, which is great. Nothing worse than pitting wood. So we're just going to color these little bluebells this wonderful, wonderful blue. And as you can see, it's just a very pretty light blue. And it is going down quite nicely. Of course, there is a bit of white spot because I am just doing this very lightly because I'm going to put another color in there as well. So I don't want to kill all the tooth. And of course, these are very little tiny pictures, so this shouldn't take overly a long period of time. Okay, so we've got the blue down. Now, I want to put this one down, I think. Let me take a look. Number 45. Yes, that's the one I want. So, this one here, as you can see, is fairly centered. It's not perfect, but it is fairly centered. So we're going to give it a sharpen. And this is a purpley blue. And of course it sharpened nicely. Nice sharp point. A little bit of pitting in the wood, but not terrible. And we'll just use the purpley blue up here at the top. Try to remember to go down into that area that you're going to blend into with just a light coat so that it can blend down seamlessly and you don't get a weird line. And I'm also going to go over those little spots there. All right, and then we're going to take our light blue again, and we're just going to bring that purple down. And this is where you end up covering up all of that white spot. And they're not very dusty, so you're not getting a lot of color dust. Just a little bit there, but not a whole lot. And I think I'm going to actually move that light because it is giving you guys a shadow. So hold on a second. Just going to move it over this side so that you guys don't have the shadow. Hopefully it's not too bright. Now I'm also going to, after I'm finished with this little bluebell here, I'm actually going to take my eraser, if I can find it, and just remove just a little bit off of the edge of this bluebell and down at the bottom where that jar is, because that jar is going to have the starlight in it. So I want to put a bit of yellow light on this bluebell. So I'm just going to take some of that color off so that we can put in that light. Now we're going to go into our greens, and we want number 26 and 29. Oh, numbers, that's 28. So it's this one. And this one, I think. Yeah. Yeah, let's take all three of them. Sure, why not? Okay, so number 29, which is a darker green, has a little bit of wax buildup on it. So it has bloomed a little bit of wax while it's been sitting. I don't use these as often as I should, but sharpening it up and it's perfectly fine. So now I need this one. And I know normally you would expect that people would just pull out all your colors, and I am one of those people that just can't do that. I don't know why. I have a thing about pulling out colors and getting it all planned. I just can't seem to do it. I don't know. There's certain things I can plan, certain color combinations that I have for like skin tone and that sort of thing. But with whimsical and that sort of thing, little tiny pictures like this, I prefer to just wing it, you know, just grab the colors and go. So I'm using a light green and a dark green, of course. And there we go. And up in here. All right. And then we're going to just take this really, really light green here. Find my brush. Make sure that your brush is handy, just to make sure that there's no residue there. Now we're going to take this really light green, which is number 26 in my set. And we're just going to, I think that's the one. Nope, that's the wrong one. Just going to blend that together a little bit. And there we go. There's our happy little bluebells. Now, while we're here, we might as well take this one and do our grass. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. It was supposed to snow here, but we didn't get any, which to me is a perfectly fine thing. I have no love for snow. I don't have to go anywhere, so I'm not overly worried about if it does, but my husband does go to work every day, and it always worries me when he has to drive in it. I can't drive in it at all. Well, I can, I just don't like to. It scares me. So I stay home when it snows because that's the safest place for me. And I'm just taking that darker green and just doing a little bit on the top there, giving that contrast. All right, now this little daisy flower here, we're going to take the dark green, of course, and just do her little leaves. Then we're going to take this one, go down her stem there. And then just take that dark one again and liven it up a little bit. Give it some contrast. And I'm just trying to stick close to the center on that one because it's closer to the jar. And I'm going to actually take a yellow pencil to it and give it the glow from the jar. So we're not going to do too much more with that one. Okay, so we've used 3 different greens and a blue and a purple. Now we're going to do a yellow, well, a couple of yellows, I think. Just going to turn this so I can reach them. Let's see, I need this one and number 5, which is an orangey yellow. We're going to do those. Give them a sharpen because I haven't used them in a while. Even though they are still sharp, I still want to give them a bit of a sharpen because I know that this set of pencils particularly has a tendency to have a little bit of wax bloom. And we don't want to get wax all over. So as you can see, they're pretty centered. This one here is a little off, but they're pretty good. The one good thing about the dull sharpener, and the one thing that you have to watch for, especially when you're sharpening your pencils, if you feel that they're a little bit off center, is just make sure that there's plenty of room to work with on your lead. You know, if you have wood all the way up to the tip of the lead, send it back. You know, because you're not going to be able to sharpen that to a fine enough point where you're going to get more than a couple of strokes and then have to sharpen it again because that wood is all the way up there. And you will find that your pencil will get very short very quickly with having that lead go all the way up to the very tip like that. So doing that is pointless, really, in my opinion. And that was one of the problems that I had with the 120 set that came out, is the leads were very off center. The cores were so off center that they were all the way up to the top of where you would sharpen it. You know, and I tried sharpening it past it, and there was just no sharpening it past it, which bummed me out a bit, but because I really enjoy these pencils, and I was really hoping, because I really always want more colors. Everybody wants more colors. But I was really, really hoping that the 120 set would have been really nice, because more colors. Always, always more colors. And more colors is a good thing. In my opinion, anyway. The one thing that I find with this set here, and I didn't sharpen that, is there isn't a lot of blues in this set, like light blues. There's lots of darker blues, but there's very few light blues. So as you can see, there's this one and there's this one. And those are pretty much it for light blues, unless you want to get into the green blues, which I don't. So I'm going to go around the edge of this area here, you know, in the areas where the glass is going to be thicker. And give that contrast and that look of glass. Of course, there's always going to be the light from within, because there's the stars and whatnot inside. But there's a definite thickness to the glass that you have to accommodate and account for. And that's, the artist has shown you that with those little dots on the side of the glass there. So here and here and here. And so you just take a little pencil and darken those up a little bit. And of course, you take your darkest and do it right down at the very edge of the glass. and your lightest into the area. I'm just blending this all together. And I'm just bringing it in a little bit so that when we do the yellow, it doesn't look like it's an open jar. Like it doesn't just look like there's nothing behind it there. Now I'm going to take a brownish yellow, so a tanny color. I think number 58 will work well. And of course we got to give it a sharpen. I think 58 and 59 would be the best ones for it. And we're going to color the cork, and then we're going to color the stars and all those fun things. So the last one, the last giveaway, if you guys remember, was for that beautiful princess book. That I had and reviewed. It's just a gorgeous little book, but I haven't had a chance to color in it yet. I haven't had a chance to color in many of my books recently. I've been doing so many different projects. And one of these days, I'll get to color. I have done a few colorings. I finished the Saturday color along, if you hadn't seen that. That was fun. I like that. I think it turned out pretty good. And of course, I did that with Divisa from DJ's Colorful Escape. Okay, so we've got the stars in there. And I'm just going to take the lightest yellow I have. And of course, we're going to give it a sharpen. Now, I know that there's probably lighter yellows and whatnot in the bigger set. But like I said, I didn't have very good luck with the bigger set, and I got frustrated with it and haven't considered rebuying it. So, and it may have just well been the fact that, you know, I had a bad run, and that's the thing sometimes with some colored pencils, is sometimes you just have to wait a few months and let that bad run out, because sometimes that's all it is it's, you know, just a bad batch of formula, or, you know, an off-centered machine that is giving that bad pencil. You know, and it sucks, but, you know, sometimes it does happen. So I'm going to take this darker orangey yellow here, and we're going to color the little swirly swirls. Give the stars a little bit of definition. All right, and then we're going to take our very light blue, And we're just going to very, very lightly fill in little bits. Of course, I'll go around this a little bit more. And just fill in the little white areas with a little tiny bit of blue, just to make it look like the jar is going in a little bit and that the light is shining through it. And we're going to grab this one. We're just going to bring that down into the jar. And of course, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the great thing about this craft is there is no wrong way of doing it. Do it however you want to do it. If you want to make it so that the entire jar is yellow, make it so that the entire jar is yellow. If you want to make it so that the entire jar is blue, make it so that the entire jar is blue. Do whatever you like to do. There is no right and wrong. There is just the way you want to do it and the way you want it to look. And like I said, I went around and I removed that coloring from that so that I would be able to put the yellow into it. And I think I want to put a little bit of this yellow into it because it's a little bit brighter, or darker, I mean. So it'll mix better with the green. Okay. Now we're going to take that light yellow again, and we're just going to bring some of that glow out of the jar. And of course, when you bring the glow out of the jar, you have to put in the darkness. So now we're going to take our black again. And we're going to fill in the darkness here. And I'm not pressing hard with the black. I could get this very, 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 very black just by pressing a little bit harder. But I want to still have that definition. And if you notice when you go outside and there's a lamp or a light, even though it's dark, it still looks a little bit lighter close to that lamp. Not just from the lamp light itself, but if you walk away from the lamp light, it takes you a little while to get into the darkness. And of course, we'll put some stars in and that sort of thing. And I will show you how well this blends, because it does blend quite well. Now I don't have a lot of color down for that black area, for the night sky area. So it's not going to blend as well there as if I, and if I had gone around and pressed a little bit harder. If I'd gone through and pressed a little bit harder, it probably would blend a little bit better, but I didn't want to, like I said, I don't want to take over the entire picture. I'm just going to make sure I add enough in there so that when I do blend it, there's enough pigment there to cover up some of the white. Because, white spot, I hate white spot. White spot drives me crazy. All right. Sitting there is our little jar of wonderful, wonderful stars. Now let's take, okay, so we're going to use the Blick Studio blender. Wipe it off. See how they do with the Blick Studio blender. So as you can see, it does blend quite well, and it's blending really nicely with this Blick blender. Normally what I use on it is, of course, the Prismacolor blender, but it seems to be doing quite well with the Blick Studio blender. Very nice. It's doing very, very well. It's not perfect because, as I said, I didn't put a whole lot of color down for it to move around, but it is covering up all that white spot quite nicely. And moving that color around. Okay. And of course we'll put some stars in and make it all look pretty. We'll add some pretty elements to it too. Now the set that I have here that I am working with, of course, is only a 72 set. Because when they first came out, I guess it was just over a year ago now. Well, maybe it was more than that. Yeah, about a year and a half, 2 years ago now, when they first came out. And they were so inexpensive for the 72 count, and that's all they had. They had 72 and 50, I think it was, that I bought myself a set and I bought my mom a set. And I just thought they were the bee's knees. The cats meow. But of course, that was a while ago when I first started coloring. And I still like them. I still think they're wonderful. I just don't use them as often as I should. Okay, so we have, and another thing that I have found that, well, that was shown to me that I really, really like are these Arteza um, white gel pens. They work so well. They work amazing. And I'm using the number 0.6. To put these little stars in. And as you can see, they are bright white little stars. And it stays really bright white. Like I do believe I used them on this one as well. And as you can see, it stayed bright white, which is awesome. Sometimes with gel pen, you find that you put it down, it looks white. As it dries, it no longer looks white. Drives me crazy. Or you put it down and it starts changing to the color that you just put down. Like that you just put down on top of, which is just annoying. So we're going to take this one. We're going to take the Sunburst Yellow Stickles, and we're going to cover these little stars. Put a little bit on these little stars, maybe. Yeah, there we go. In the jar, because they need to be shinier than little stars out of the jar. Because somebody has caught them in the jar. And we make them all sparkly. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. Maybe. And same with I even bought a special little tool, so I didn't have to fiddle with this so much, but that would require actually thinking about what I'm doing first. Oh, a little bit too much there. There we go. All right, so that is all done. And of course, we have to let the stickles dry. So in comparison, I'm just going to give this a bit of a rub. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I just rubbed all the white gel pen off. Let's put those back. I just rubbed all of the stars off of it. All right. So in comparison, let's see if we can not rub all the stars off to say the color uh, the dictionary edition that we did last week, that we looked at last week. It did really well, and I did not blend any of this, none of it. And comparatively, I think this did just as well as that dictionary edition colored pencil. Didn't it? It did really, really well, even compared to the Brute Funers up here, where we have the same kind of bluebells as we have here. I didn't blend the bluebells here like I did there. What else do we have in blue? It did, just as well as this. I think pretty much it has done very well for the price that I paid for them. Nowadays, everything seems to go up and up and up in price. So it seems that our coloring supplies that we used to enjoy that were, budget friendly, that we could buy and try, and if we didn't like them, it wasn't a big deal because it was $5. Nowadays it's, 20, 30, $40, and if you don't like them, you're out 20, 30, $40. Well, unless you use Amazon, and then you can of course send them back. But it's that frustration and that heartbreak of, going through and buying a set of pencils, and I know it affects me quite a bit. I don't know why. Um, but when I buy a set of pencils, especially a large set of pencils, like the 180 Brute Funers, I was really, really, really hoping to like those. And I might have at some point some further information on those. A friend of mine who also bought the 180 set as well as the 120 square set says that hers came in with the colored barrels, not just the black barrels with the tips. So I am waiting for her to send me some information um, on her set, some pictures and whatnot, and I will research that further, because if they come in the same way that the Brute Funer originals, the 168 set or the 160 set, um, came in, then they may have gone back to their original um, formulation, or they may have run out of the uh, shuttle arts that I believe they were configuration, and have now started actually selling the Brute Funers. I am not positive on that, and I just completely messed that up. Now I've got stickles in my brush. Oh dear. Okay. So back to what we were talking about. So I will be doing an update on that set of pencils. And hopefully, as the pandemic goes down and things like that, our prices on our art supplies will go down a little bit as well. Keep watching Amazon and Blick Studios, as well as Jerry's Artorama is another really good one. And of course, watch things like Walmart and different things like that for things that are on sale. I know Amazon has the Crayola stuff on sale right now. Um, and all that kind of stuff. So keep an eye out on, and grab those bargains while they're available. Like, for example, the um, Cadrim pencils that we just bought for $13. I have found out that they are actually a different brand. Underneath the sticker on your Cadrim pencils, if you did purchase them, is another brand name. And that brand name does in fact carry the exact same 72 count set. They also have a 150 set that I didn't think was the same, because the color numbers in the 72 set that we have didn't really match up with the color numbers of that 150 set. However, they do match identically to the 72 set of the same brand. So they look to me, I haven't bought the other brand, and I probably won't, because I think my husband's getting kind of tired of me buying all these pencils. But I probably won't, because I really don't need them um, until my full set syndrome hits me, and then I'll end up buying them. I know I will. But for this moment, I don't need them. And they will currently they're $18.99 or something like that. So the savings that you got was still quite substantial, and they are still available under this other name. I have mine put away in my big bin here, so I'm trying to get to them, but I've got so many things piled on top of it because I've got so many different, like I said, I've got so many different projects going, and I haven't put them into their bag yet. So I have them in my spares, my spare sets in this big tote. Let's see. So as you can see, there's our CAD rooms, and there's our little CAD room sticker. So under the CAD room sticker is another brand name. And this brand name does carry this 72 count set. The tin is identical and everything else. So if you have this CAD room set and you want a larger set, of course you can find the Queely, and it was another subscriber that let me know that that Queely was underneath the sticker. And when I looked at the larger set, like I said, I didn't see the same number on the pencils that I would expect. However, when I looked at the 72 set that somebody else showed me yesterday, they are definitely the same numbers on the yellows. So on the yellows of my pencils, I've got the 133, the 101, 102, 137, that sort of thing. And the 133, 101, and 102, and the 103 in the white are all the same numbers on that Queely set. You know, even inside the box here is another sticker that says CAD room, where it's just a sticker over top of the Queely. So I don't know why companies are doing that and just renaming products and trying to sell them as a different product, whether it's something that is a marketing scheme to give you a really, really cheap set, sell you a really cheap set, and then you start looking around for that type of pencil and see a larger set or a different set that has the exact same type of pencil, so you buy them. I'm not sure why they're doing that, or if that's the reason they're doing that, or anything like that. I can definitely see it being something like that, but I don't know. Anyway, I've talked about this more than enough. Let's get to the giveaway. So if you remember right from the start of the video, I'm going to switch you on over to the other camera here. Get up, get in there. There we go. I'm going to give away this Fairy and Fantasy 2 grayscale coloring book. And yes, I'm calling it a giveaway because that's what it is. Of course, these giveaways and any contests on my channel are not done by YouTube. They're not supported by YouTube, and they are not provided for you by YouTube. They are 100% a part of the channel. Of course, you must be 18 years of age or older to win, as well as a U.S. resident. Due to shipping constraints, I can only ship within the U.S., so please make sure that you are a U.S. resident. Of course, be a subscriber to the channel. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. And of course, ring the bell. I do come out with videos every day except for Sunday, and even on some Sundays we have a special video. So What I want you to tell me in the about section or the comment section, what I want your comment to say is, let's see. Okay, so what I want you to say in your comment section is butterflies are beautiful. So for everybody that says butterflies are beautiful, I will be putting a number next to your name and drawing for this beautiful book on Friday. So if you don't already have this beautiful book or just want a spare like I do, I always want spares, especially of Christine's work, because I actually really enjoy the paper in this book. Oh my gosh. I don't normally color in coloring books, but the paper in this book is fantastic. In all of her books is just wonderful to color on. Yeah, I just absolutely love the paper she uses. And she uses Amazon paper. I'm not sure if it's a higher quality or if it's because she is in Canada and they come from Amazon.ca. I'm not positive. That is just a speculation. All right, guys. Of course, remember to hit the like button. It does boost my confidence and makes me feel good. Um, and I like feeling good. Always, leave me a comment. Let me know how you enjoyed the video. Of course, let me know that butterflies are beautiful. And of course, hit the subscribe button. Unfortunately, I can't let you win if you don't subscribe. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and of course, we will do the drawing for this beautiful book on Friday during Fun Stuff Friday, where we will be going through a couple of different products. They are very different products. Well, different from each other. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. And of course, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. All right, bye-bye, guys.